Hey guys, Mari Fangirl 93 here, and I'm going to be making a video which I normally don't make those type of videos like this. It's basically that type of video that it was more about myself, and to my viewers and subscribers who don't know this, but this is where I'm going to talk about it right now. So today, I'm going to be talking about autism. There's all types of autism. There's high functioning, low functioning, nonverbal, and there are some in the middle part of it depending on the capability of a person who has autism. As for myself, I have high functioning autism. Now, this is a type of video that I should have talked about this like a long time ago, but it's finally here, and I know it's not Autism Awareness Month because it's usually happened in April and it's January, but I just wanted to tell you guys about my symptoms of autism and what this is really about. So, what is autism? Well, autism is a type of disorder that your brain works differently than the other people, and they think differently, which this is something that happened a lot in my school. And speaking of schools, I took special education classes, and that's why there's some of the works in even in high school or other stuff that, could be challenging, and there are things that, and since I'm high functioning, there are some things that I'm perfectly capable of, things such as learning how to cook, taking music lessons, such as, whatever instrument you want to play, something you want to learn in your life, and something as you grow. However, there are people who have high-functioning autism and also who have Asperger's syndrome, which is pretty much the same thing as it, since they have a higher capability. And speaking of that, my best friend Golden Tails Geek has Asperger's, and he and I had the same level, and I'll explain why it is, and we had the similarities here, and it's basically more about myself here. As you can tell, I've been struggling a lot with interacting with people, especially real life, and also having social problems, which I still having trouble socializing with people, and that is one big thing right off the bat when it comes to people who have high functioning autism, such as social skills. And there are some who don't use eye contact, which I pretty much use eye contact, but when I get upset, I just looked away or even put my head down, which, there are things I just cannot think straight, because I can't, if I get upset that easily, this is when something when I just get really distracted and it really gets me frustrated and stuff like that. There's also a part of me that, that I do get really anxious when it comes to interacting with people, and as you can tell, because I get so anxious that easily, and this is also a part of, autism also has shares when they have, had their similarities. This is part of when people who have depression and anxiety, which I will definitely, it'll be all in one like that, in part of my autism, because I have really high anxiety, and I really got really anxious when things just go wrong, and because, when I just do know when things go wrong here, I want to make things right, and that's why I was just, because you can already tell when it comes to people having conversations, I get quiet, and I was really shy. And when I was a kid, I didn't even talk to anyone, even at school when there's kids there. I was just, when there's kids talking, when I was at the bus, I was just playing my Game Boy Advance and DS, and, because just, that is one of the biggest things when it comes to autism, is social skills, especially at school, where kids who are just learning about social skills, especially high school. Yeah, that is also part of me, and I still struggled with that. Even I'm 27, I am also not really good at, but there are things that I do like to socialize with people, such as, people in the gaming community. as far as real life goes, not really. Especially when there's my families and also people that who have different interests like that. I was always quiet, and that's why I don't really interact. There's also a part of me that, when it comes to making friends and try to be friends with people, it is also a struggle, because this is things I get depressed because, for example, since the pandemic is happening, aka COVID-19, some of my friends just didn't want to hang out because they get paranoid, and when people get paranoid because of COVID, it really upsets me. It's like I'm feeling left out, and when people just don't understand how I feel, I get really upset and I got really emotional. And there's some things when people just, and there's also another thing when it comes to autism. Is also, communication is when communication just goes wrong right there, and also like when I just things that I didn't really mean to hurt them. There are times I just get so depressed that easily because, just because I made a big mistake. There are times, I having suicidal thoughts because, because there's things in the past that I got bullied a few times, and it's because I was just struggling when I even just felt overwhelmed with things. I mean, I can't be always perfect when it comes to, like, be friends with people and stuff like that. It's just really a sad thing that, because I don't really have a lot of friends, here. That is why I just wanted to be in a gaming community in the first place, because I would love to, find friends, or even people that do have a lot in common and stuff like that, and also, understanding who they really are, and, and all the positivity, because when there's drama going on, it gets me so anxious. It's just, it literally, like, makes me frustrated, because you wanted the positivity and, understand, the things and stuff. There's also part of me that, in such as other people with autism stuff, because they have a talent, such as really good at the higher difficulty in video games. They like to play an instrument and other fun activities. For example, I like to play the electric guitar. I've been playing guitar for 2.5 years, and I know I haven't touched it in a while, but I'm actually going back to doing covers, and there are some of the songs I'm actually good at, especially the chords and also the pop meaning and stuff like that, because I have a talent, and I really love music. And as for video games go, I'm actually really good at, with the higher difficulty, and, well, when I get, when I practice it, and I'm actually really good at concentrations in other video games. Like Donkey Kong Country, for example, when I was at the Minecart Carnage, and when there's, like, I was aware of these critters coming, or I forgot the enemy names, I can easily concentrate where it and I didn't have any issues with that. And this is also called having the skills when it comes to video games, because I got one of my friends saying I have a lot of talent, and I got the skills when it comes to video games, and especially since I'm very passionate with other things. And as for myself, I feel like I'm way different than the other girls, because there are not too many that were not into video games or into, like, rock and roll or metal music. But I know I got a little off topic and I didn't mean to, but this is also a part that I'm, that I'm really good at certain things, especially that I'm perfectly capable of, of learning when it comes to stuff, especially, I can learn things quickly, and there are some things, and also I do need some assistance with, life skills, just a couple of things such as cooking, and which I'm just currently like to learn how to cook. I could use some, like, assistance when it comes to that until I was, like, remembered and already learned to, whatever foods. It's just something that's the basics. And also, there are people who have autism who such as, who have Asperger's or high functioning, like myself. There are some who actually know how to drive. I know I was a little late to learn how to drive since I'm 27, but the reason why I didn't drive, sooner is because, well, I really don't have a lot of money to afford, to get a car, and just, because I had to get a permit at first. And this is also going to be, I had to, knowing the rules of the road, and also, there's things if I, comes to, remembering things. I mean, I am good, with other things, but there are times I forget. And speaking of communication, when I was 3 years old, and I forgot to mention this, that's where I just learned to speak, and also diagnosed with high functioning autism. And perhaps I learned to speak in full sentences when I was about 4 years old, and that is why I take speech therapy, and or I go to a learning center and other things that, that's where, it's normal for autistic people, especially in the early stages of childhood, when they struggle to speak and they don't talk. But as for myself, at least I wasn't delayed because I was actually really good at because I spoke like a normal child. Now I know there are a lot of people who have autism who have struggles like that, but at least, I know to, understand certain things, but there's some things I don't understand, and this is something I learned that from myself. Now I know there are people who have autism such as myself who can, sometimes, who can be that smart. Not all of them, but some. I didn't really talk much about my intelligence because when it comes to my actions, you know what I mean. It's just a way of, trying to understand things, and also having, the communication and social skills, and that's why I just need to learn a lot about the things. Especially there are some, with the maturity, and some of them who are not mature enough. But as for me, I'm also growing up and just want to learn. And that's why I was in a gaming community in the first place, because this is what make the difference when I was, thanks to my friends who, all the love and support, because I'm way different than any other people, and it's okay to be different. It's okay to be different when it comes to, if they don't have a disability or they do have a disability, you gotta really understand. And there's one thing that's not really okay, just because, when people are different, don't ever call them stupid or retarded. Just because they have the disability like that, it's not cool, because it's also part of bullying. I also would like to show some advices when it comes to people who have autism or even have anxiety, depressions like me. If your depression is that serious and also have really bad anxiety, I would actually suggest you go see a therapist or counseling, or if you I know some therapists are not really the best, but it can also help, cure your your depression and anxiety, and also, understand, how they feel. And as for myself, I listen to music, go outside, get some fresh air, and how you feel to, calm me down if you're that depressed, if there's whenever there's drama, when there's relationship or friendship problems. If you want to rebuild it, think of it and try to research and try to learn, such as, I actually researching, if you want to be friends with someone, if you're struggling such as myself, because I struggle to making friends with someone, because, yeah, it's also not fun when I was just trying to struggle, but I actually really glad that I do have friends here, and it actually makes me feel, loved and feel supported like that, because whoever the people who supported me, who I am, it means a lot to me, and I just want to thank you guys for your support once again. So that is pretty much all I gotta say about my autism. I know I look like sometimes I just didn't really explain it as much. There are things I just try to explain as best as I could when it comes to my autism, and also the stories about, because, especially, struggling to, making friends with someone, and also interacting with people, and yeah, you'll get the idea. Anyway, this is Mari Fangirl 93, signing out.